Today I'm going to show you how to make 3 tofu scramble recipes. These recipes are going to take your vegan breakfast to the next level. Are you struggling to find a satisfying vegan breakfast that isn't just toast or smoothie? I get it. The 3 recipes I'll be showing today are an Italian, Southwest, and loaded veggie tofu scrambles. These recipes will allow you to never get bored with breakfast again. First up is the Italian style. If you love bold, herby flavors, this Italian tofu scramble is for you. We're talking tomatoes, Italian seasoning, and mozzarella cheese all coming together to create a savory, Mediterranean-inspired breakfast. Perfect on toast or with roasted potatoes. Let's dive in. Here's what you'll need. 16-ounce medium firm tofu block, fresh diced tomatoes, dairy-free mozzarella cheese, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, and turmeric for that gorgeous color. For this recipe, I like to use medium or soft tofu blocks. Using a softer tofu gives it that fluffy egg-like consistency that's just perfect for a scramble. First things first, press your tofu. This step removes excess moisture and lets the tofu soak up all that delicious flavor when we're adding it later. Leave the tofu in the press for 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how firm you like it. Want more tips on pressing tofu? Check out my video, How to Press Tofu, and I'll link it below. While the tofu is pressing, chop up your fresh tomatoes. I like to use plum tomatoes for this recipe because they're meatier and they hold up well during cooking. Once the tofu is pressed, pat it dry with a paper towel. Then crumble it into small, bite-sized pieces. It should look like scrambled eggs at this point. Now add Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, and turmeric in next. Mix it all together until the tofu is evenly coated. Heat up a nonstick pan over medium-high heat, and then add a 1/4 cup of water. Toss in your diced tomatoes. Let them cook for a few minutes until they start to soften and release their juices. Next, add your seasoned tofu mixture to the pan. Stir everything together and cook until the liquid has evaporated. And this is when the magic happens. Finally, sprinkle a generous cup of dairy-free mozzarella all over the top. Cover the pan for a minute or two to let the cheese melt beautifully. At this time, you want to turn off the heat. And there you have it, a vibrant, cheesy, savory Italian tofu scramble. Perfect on its own, with toast, or wrap it up for an easy breakfast to go. The second recipe, we are going Southwest. Spice up your mornings with this Southwest style tofu scramble. It's loaded with bell peppers, black beans, and just the right amount of smoky heat from chili powder and cumin. This is one perfect stuffing into a breakfast burrito or serving alongside some crispy hash browns. Here's what you need. 16 ounces of medium firm tofu, green onions, sweet peppers, corn, black beans, black olives, dairy-free Mexican shreds, chili powder, paprika, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, and turmeric for that gorgeous color. For today's recipe, I'm going with medium or soft tofu block. Let's press that tofu. This step removes the extra moisture and makes the tofu a sponge for all that amazing flavor we're about to add. Leave your tofu in the press for about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how firm you like it. While the tofu is pressing, let's multitask. Grab your green onions and sweet peppers and chop them up into bite-sized pieces. Once the tofu is pressed, pat it dry with a paper towel. Then crumble it into small, bite-sized pieces. It should look like scrambled eggs at this point. Now it's time to add the seasonings. Add chili powder, paprika, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, and turmeric. Mix it all together until the tofu is evenly coated. Heat up a nonstick pan over medium-high heat and add about a quarter cup of water. Toss in your chopped green onions and sweet peppers. You want to let them saute for a few minutes until they start to soften. For this recipe, I'm using frozen corn, so I'm going to add it now because I need it to cook a little bit longer. Now it's time for the star of the show, your seasoned tofu mixture. Add it to the pan and stir everything together and let it cook until all the liquid has evaporated. Then toss in your black beans and black olives for a pop of color and flavor. Now it's time for the grand finale. Sprinkle a generous cup of dairy-free Mexican-style cheese over the top. Cover the pan for a minute or two and let the magic happen as the cheese melts into gooey perfection. And there you have it, a vibrant, cheesy, savory Southwest tofu scramble. Perfect on its own, with toast, or wrapped up for an easy breakfast on the go. It's all about getting those veggies first thing in the morning. This loaded veggie tofu scramble is for you. We're packing in broccoli, mushrooms, peppers for more of those colorful, nutrient-packed meals that keep you full of energy all day long. Here's what you need to create this colorful, nutrient-packed scramble. 16 ounces of medium firm tofu, green onions, sweet peppers, tomatoes, broccoli, mushrooms, and spinach. For seasoning, grab some garlic powder, onion powder, and turmeric. For today's recipe, I'm choosing to use a medium tofu block. First things first, let's press that tofu. Removing the extra moisture is the key to getting that perfect texture. Pressing makes the tofu a flavor sponge, ready to soak up all the delicious seasonings we're about to add. If you don't have a tofu press, no problem. Just wrap your tofu in a clean kitchen towel and place a heavy object on top. Leave your tofu in the press for about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how firm you like it. Here's a tip. If you're new to pressing tofu and you want to up your game, check out my video, How to Press Tofu. I'll link it to you below. While the tofu is pressing, let's multitask. Get those veggies prepped. Grab your green onions, tomatoes, broccoli, mushrooms, spinach, and sweet peppers, and chop them up into bite-sized pieces. Not a fan of green onions? Try chives for a mild flavor. Once the tofu is pressed, pat it dry with a paper towel. Then crumble it into small bite-sized pieces. It should resemble scrambled eggs at this point, light and fluffy. Prefer a chunky tofu? Just break it up into larger pieces instead. Time to add the flavor. Sprinkle in the garlic powder, onion powder, and turmeric and mix until the tofu is evenly coated. Want to add a little heat? A pinch of smoked paprika or cayenne pepper will do the trick. Heat up a nonstick pan over medium-high heat and add about a quarter cup of water. Toss in your chopped green onions, sweet peppers, mushrooms, broccoli, and let them saute for a few minutes until they start to soften. For an oil-free option, water works great, but you can also use a splash of vegetable broth to add flavor. Next, add the tomatoes and cook them until they are soft and juicy. Cherry tomatoes work great here, but sun-dried tomatoes can add a nice chewy texture and a concentrated flavor. Now it's time to add the star of the show, your seasoned tofu mixture. Add it to the pan, stir everything together, and let it cook till all the liquid has evaporated, allowing those flavors to really melt together. And there you have it, a vibrant, loaded tofu scramble that's packed with flavor and nutrition. Serve it up on its own, pair it with some toast, or in a wrapped tortilla for an easy breakfast on the go. Feeling extra fancy, top it with avocado slices or a sprinkle of vegan cheese. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more yummy recipes, and let me know in the comments how yours turns out. Check my website for full printable recipes, and most of the products and ingredients I used on this are linked in the description below. And I'll see you next time.